content of this channel is for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. You're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. Please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification button. And please, feel free to share the video. Thank you.
Yo, what's good, everybody? I'm GG, man. You tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. It's the place where black men can express themselves freely, straight up with no chases, man. You know how I do, bruh. And you know I already been on today, man, but I gotta do this. I figured I may as well get it out of the way. So here I am doing another show today. But shout out to all the haters out there, man. What's good with y'all, man? I hope y'all having a good evening. To be quite honest, I really hope you ain't having a good evening, but you know. If you're a hater, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, man, if you come in, man, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification button so you can stay on top of what's happening here on the Green Gorilla channel, man. Straight up. And before I get things started, man, I'm going to go down my usual rundown of appreciation of persons, man, who've helped contribute towards the Green Gorilla channel being what it is, man, and me, you know, being able to maintain it. So let me take care of that business, man. And after I take care of that business, I'm going to get right to the business of what we came here to do, man. But, yeah, back at it again, man. A 2-for-1 today. A twofer, so to speak. But anyway, man, let me go ahead and handle this, man, and shout all these people out so I can go ahead and do what I got to do, man, and get off here, man. So anyway, man, Black's Word 404, big up. An Honest Look at the End, big up. John J, Afro National, Sherlin Woe, Ricky Dawson, Stefan, Julius Ferguson, and Lord Hamal, big up to you, man. Big up to True 7360, Mr. Me Too, Carl for President, I'm Just Jules, Broken Blade, Leading from the Back, J. Cleveland Green, Brotherly Love 215, Gold Professor, Seven Coast Dojo, Lee Ways, AKs and Curtains, H-Town, and Roguish the Build Monger, big up, excuse me. BD Main, Adrian Thomas, Electrician 480, Gabinga, Cutting Up with the Jones, Co, and D. Scott, big up. Path Guy 74, Pete Rock 496, Tahuti of New Comet, Aaron Peters, Marnolis, Dardar, Vincent Lindsay, Michael Pearson, Beautiful Trauma, big up. Big up the Quiz, the Poet, Black Wizard 80OS, Jazz Tech, Shadow Observer, Sugar T, Artisan MC, Nasiana, Kyle J. Sura, Kareem, and Troy Warren, big up. Big up to Mrs. KP Bailey, Alan Wiley, The Face, Mantis on Break, Life of Commerce, Dreamlit, A. Wilson's Ghost, and Timothy Blewett, big up. Big up to Jeffrey Speed, Marvin Battle Jr., Mark Holt, Afro Troop TV, Adam, BGS Ibmore, Ignat Mouse, Brian Peaks, and Papadidas. Big up. Big up to Scott Haywood, Black Uru Strikes, Dr. Tree 33, Leroy Honeycutt, Super Tech, 77 Base X, Brian McMurray, Kiran S., Anthony Davis, and Charles Rogers. Big up. Big up to Rick Ross, Sandra Jean 955, Charles Gilmore, Patricia Colley, Greg, Barry Little, Mr. Valentino, Jason Hales, and Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Also big up to Cameron 87, Doc LaRock, Mark Swift, Odd Collar, Donald Watts, Coach Hotep, Old Soul Chief, Mr. Blue Collar, TD Hip Hop Media, and Drew Main. Also can't forget Mr. Heat, Sir Anthony, MLR, and Universal 178. In addition to that, I want to give a shout out to Rasheed Barnes, Aaron Smith, DH, The Revelator, Aaron Infinite, Dr. Tiasan Johnson, Kalon Jakala, Hostile Adept, and WPR1. I can't forget David Carroll, Kevin Samuels, and Forrest Windu. Big up to them, man. God bless, man. And also on my Patreon side, I want to give a shout out to Prince D. Martini, Daxby, J Live, Rashawn Phillips Sorrells, Keith Bass, Nick, Rock One, Albert C., Dr. Ben Vincent, I Am the Light of My Father, Waffle Weave, William Joyner, Tyrone Hampton, Darnell Smith, Excalibur, Anu219, Pursuer Prisoner, Taz, Dragon 59, Jay Bailey, Mr. Michi, Mo Mal, and the Saint. Well, big up to all y'all, man. Thank you so much for supporting the Green Gorilla channel on an ongoing basis. I really appreciate it, man. If you want to be able to, help the Green Gorilla, man, keep this boat afloat, man, here's how you do it, man, with a membership. And then I'll be back with everything I'm supposed to be doing. What's good, everybody? I'm the G with a PhD, and you're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel, the place where black men can express themselves freely. Straight up, no chaser. Today, I want to introduce you to my new membership program that consists of 5 levels where you can invest in the Green Gorilla channel on a monthly basis and receive level-specific perks. Memberships are special because they improve the quality of the content of the channel and will help me to be able to keep the channel going. Now, to participate in the Green Gorilla channel membership program, all you have to do is hit the join button, which is located right next to the subscribe button on my channel page. Now, for all of my subscribers who decide not to participate in my membership program, nothing will change. The content will keep coming the way it always has. Thanks for watching, and be careful out here, people. Bless.
Speed. Civil Rights, King, Van Oker, roll 20, sound 36.
Let me stop it right there, man. That's the interview I'm about to do, man. Martin Luther King Jr.'s interview at Ebenezer Baptist Church with NBC. And a lot of people got a lot to say about Martin Luther King Jr., about how, they thought he was a sucker because he wasn't about that violent life or whatever the case may be, which is odd because, most of the guys that, say that kind of thing, not to say that they won't be violent or they're not revolutionary, but come on, man, let's just be honest, man. I don't see a lot of revolutionaries, a lot of black revolutionaries nowadays, bro. I'm just keeping it a buck, man. I don't see a lot of guys with guns ready to put their life on the line for the black struggle. They'll put their life on the line for the U.S. struggle or some other shit, but when it comes time for this, like black struggle per se, no, they ain't about that life, man. Not for real. And anybody who is about that life, they're going to consider him to be crazy. Oh, he's crazy. What did he do that for? Why did he do that? You know how the story go, man. So anyway, man, I'm just going to react to this video because a lot of people, for better or worse, for right or wrong, they really don't know what MLK was about. They never really actually studied him. They never really actually listened to him. They never paid attention to what his strategy was all about. Now, white people, of course, every February, man, when it comes time for Black History Month, the first thing they start doing, man, is they co-opt and they appropriate MLK and they start talking about color blindness. And, treating everybody exactly the same. Which is some bullshit. That's not MLK's rhetoric, man. Not in full. I mean, if you take a snapshot, a slice of what he says, and you keep, if you sample that, and you keep, putting that out there, that's all he was about, then that's the only picture you're going to get. And they want to frame him for their purposes. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they want to frame him in the way that they feel like, he should be framed? Instead of you actually knowing what he said and why he said what he said, so you can understand what the next point of order is supposed to be for us as a group. At least in his, in his thoughts or in his view. But anyway, man, I'm about to go ahead and show this shit. And you can take it for what it is, man, with a grain of salt if you want to. However you want to, bro. It's on you, man. I'm not here to tell you what to think one way or the other, but I will be reacting. It is a reaction video. And I'm not really, I don't know if this shit gonna get taken down or if the video is going to be stopped while I show it because it is the property of fucking of NBC. And, it's a shame, man, that you can't show some of these videos, man, without going through a whole bunch of fucking red tape in order to get it approved by YouTube because of copyright protection, which is basically the music industry. making sure that they get their full money. It's the recording industry that started this bullshit. And we already know all the people in the recording industry, whatever artist it is, more than likely they getting fucked in the ass by the record labels, dog. And we know it's only about 4 or 5 of them right now. I ain't gonna go through the names right now. It ain't important right this second, but you know what I'm talking about. So let's get to the facts, man. Let's just get to it, man. I'm gonna stop it and pause it as we go through it. I'm gonna stop it and pause it as we go through it, man. So let's get right to it, bro.
Civil Rights, King, Van Oker, roll 20, sound 36.
Dr. King, this church is as good a place as any to go back over your commitment to the civil rights movement. When you went out from here into university and then you went to Montgomery, Alabama and started the bus boycotts there, what was the philosophy of the civil rights movement as you saw it then, more than 10 years ago?
Well, I would say then the philosophy was that we must go all out to use legal and nonviolent methods to gain full citizenship rights for the Negro people of our country. Of course, that particular struggle and that philosophy centered on breaking down all of the barriers of legal segregation. So I would say that in that period...
Listen, let me stop this shit right here, right? He says, in that period, at that time, that's already a foreshadowing that something new ought to be engaged in to come. There's another phase that needs to be inaugurated. There's something different that needs to take place. Because he's talking about what he was thinking and the strategy that he implemented at that time. That's time T1. Now it's time to do something different at time T2. It's time to take it somewhere else. But you know, Negroes like to say stuck on the same shit.
The basic thrust for the gaining of citizenship rights for Negroes was to end the humiliation surrounding the whole system of legal segregation.
There you have it. He wanted to put an end to the humiliation that surrounded legal segregation. It's already demonstrating that he knows that there's a difference between de jure segregation and de facto segregation. He's already foreshadowing a lot right there. But, let me just go ahead and continue. Now, I don't know if YouTube is going to put the brakes on this or not. I don't know. If they do, let me know, okay? If they do, let me know. So hold on, before I even proceed any further, let me go to my page, my YouTube, and go to my live so I can see if these people is trying to throw a monkey wrench in my program, bro. I need to be able to see it live so I'm not caught off guard. You feel me? All right, so I got it up right now. I got it up going. All right. So let me proceed with this, man.
Dr. King, was there something peculiar to the place where you started and the kind of people you attracted? I mean by that, there was a strong attachment on the part of your parishioners in Montgomery to the church. They were older people, weren't they?
Yes, I would say by and large they were older people who participated in the boycott because they were the ones using the bus more than anybody else. And Montgomery was a community predominantly church-centered, so that it was very easy to get to the vast majority of Negroes because they were in some way connected with a church in the community.
Sir, in addition to your commitment to the idea of nonviolence, wasn't it also the only thing you could do, the white community having the monopoly on violence?
But man, I hate when white people start talking like that, man. That shit right there is a pet peeve of mine, man. Isn't it true that you had to use nonviolence? That's a white boy trying to flex right there, man. Fuck that dude, man. Fuck that white boy right there, man. See, that's the sort of shit that'll get a white boy smacked around me. Don't you think? Like, that white folks have the monopoly on violence? You ain't the only motherfuckers on the planet, man, that can be violent, bruh. They just know we outnumbered. It ain't that they got so much valor and courage and shit like that. They just got numbers, and they got more guns. That's it. Ain't no valor in them motherfuckers, man. He wasn't lying. But he is. I don't like that whole conversation, bro. Like, oh, didn't you niggas have to just be nonviolent? Isn't that the only course that you had? Fuck all that, bro. I don't like that shit, man. I don't, man.
You had tried violence. They would have met it with violence. It was the only device open to you, wasn't it?
Well, I'll put it another way, that morally, I was led to nonviolence because I felt that it was the best moral way to deal with the problem. We were seeking to establish a just society. And it was my feeling then, and it is my feeling now, that violence is certainly much more socially destructive, and it creates many more social problems than it solves. So I was led to nonviolence for deep moral reasons. Now, there is no doubt about the fact that in our struggle in Montgomery and all over the United States for that matter, nonviolence is also practically sound. It would just be impractical for the Negro to turn to violence. He has neither the instruments nor the techniques of violence. We are about 10 or 11% of the total population of the nation, and I would say we're about 1/10 of the firepower. So
there you go. So he is answering the question. I don't like a white boy trying to flex and say, you know, we got you, y'all some cowards or something like that. I don't like to hear that, man. But MLK is telling the truth. He's like, look, bro, we don't have the machines of war. We don't have the weapons of war at our disposal. Our enemies kind of got us in between a rock and a hard place. And I want to take the moral high road. I mean, you know, at least that was the strategy he said that he used during time T1 of the civil rights movement, right? In order to basically lift the fog of de jure segregation. That was the goal, okay? Time T1.
it would just be totally impractical and unwise and unrealistic for the Negro to think of violence. Well, I saw this in the beginning in Montgomery, but this wasn't the basic reason that I turned to nonviolence and that I believed in it as a philosophy. I turned to it because I felt that it was the morally excellent way to deal with the problem of racial injustice in our country.
So he threw in two things. First of all, he says it's practically it's not wise. It's not a sound strategy because it would be rash on the part of black people who are basically 10% of the population and don't have the machines or the weapons. They don't have the gunpowder, okay? We just don't have the gunpowder. So, but beyond that, I think that morally, it wasn't the right way to get our point across. Now, that's his viewpoint. Now, you know, it is what it is. You can agree with it, you can disagree with it. But that's what the man said. All right? So let's keep pushing.
Is there something about nonviolence that made it, and I use that in the past tense, that made it more useful among Southern Negroes than the ghetto Negroes of the North?
Oh, man. See, look. Bruh. So automatically, the white boy is like, okay, you got a group of Negroes in the North, urban Negroes, city Negroes, right? And then you got the old black people of the South. So the interviewer's already basically trying to draw out this distinction between urban Negroes and Southern Negroes. I done heard Negroes in this space try to make that distinction. But it really is a white boy distinction. It's a white boy distinction. The Negroes in the North and the Negroes in the South. Do you really think that the strategy of nonviolence can really be applied and is applicable to the Negroes in the North? Oh man, that white dude got me hot, man. But look at MLK. He got it. First of all, look, MLK started the video. He was smacking his lips and shit. Like, I know he's looking like, man, here I go. I gotta talk to another white boy on some bullshit.
I wouldn't say there's anything that makes it more useful to Southern Negroes. I think it is true that we've had more nonviolent movements in the South because the problem for many years was more crystallized and, in a sense, more visible in the South. We didn't have many civil rights activities on a massive scale in the North until 3 or 4 years ago. So,
bam. Okay, so look. The dude is trying to make a distinction between Southern and Northern Negroes and whether or not nonviolence as a strategy ought to be utilized in the North as well as the South. Because, of course, white people want to know. They want to be prepared for what they got to deal with in terms of what Negroes are going to do. So, ultimately, he's trying to get it from the horse's mouth. What are you Negroes on now? What do you want to do? And of course he's going to try to posture and pose like they got all the power. You better not try to do anything. Don't you know we have the monopoly on violence? We'd crush you in a minute. So anyway, MLK is like, look, I concede the point. We don't have the guns. We outmanned, but I think morally the right thing to do is to engage in nonviolent resistance against an oppressive regime or an oppressive governmental structure and social practice, segregation, which is humiliating to black folks. However, we haven't really been running this kind of program in the North. We just recently began this process of trying to utilize resistance in the North, right? And he's going to begin to talk about the conditions that accrue or apply to the people in the North, as well as still, that Maine or obtains in the South. Because basically saying in the South, segregation was palpable. In the North, it was a little bit more covert and undercover, but it's still there. The conditions and the ostracization still exist. You feel me? But anyway, man, let me let him speak for himself, bro.
I would say that we just haven't had a chance to experiment on a broad scale with nonviolence in the Northern Ghetto. I have the feeling that nonviolence is as applicable and workable in the Northern Ghetto as it is in the South. Now, there's a larger job there. The frustrations at points are much deeper. The bitterness is deeper. And I think that's because in the South we can see pockets of progress here and there. We've really made some strides that are very visible, and every Southern Negro knows that he can do things today that he couldn't do 4 or 5 years ago. Wherein in the North, the Negro sees only retrogress, and he doesn't find it as easy to get his vision centered on his target, the target of opposition, as he does in the South. Consequently, this is made for despair and at many points cynicism, a feeling that you can't win, and it simply means that we've got to develop in the North a massive job of organization and mobilizing forces and resources to deal with the problem in the urban ghettos of the North, just as we've done it in the South.
So basically he's saying, yeah, the strategy that we utilized in the South can be implemented and utilized in the North, but it's going to be a much more difficult project because things seem to be on the backslide when it comes to the North. And in the South, you can see tangible, changes. In the North, it's more difficult to see those changes, and it seems hopeless. And we already know about what the Great Migration was. It was a situation in which a lot of black folks left the South, tried to move to the North in order to figure out whether or not, they could, basically live a better life. Because the North was perceived as freedom land for Negroes who was in slavery, okay? That's just the way it was. Let me go to, thank you, what he had, asshole. The only donation of the night. Thank you, sir. He says, GG on the numbers. Don't know why some in the community believe we're much more than the 40 million. Don't make sense. Kills the less of the pop can do most of the crime argument. Also the wealth gap. Yeah, so, it's a little broken English there because I'm trying to, decipher it. I know you only got a limited amount of space, but I want to read that again. GG on the numbers. Don't know why some in the community believe we're much more than 40 plus. I don't know why they would think that either. Don't make sense. Kills the less of the population, can't do most of the crime argument. Also the wealth gap. Okay, feel that. But let's proceed, man. Let's keep pushing.
In the South, particularly in Alabama, you had visible villains. Jim Clark, Bull Connor, cattle prods, police dogs. But in the North, you don't have those visible villains. Isn't it hard to get your people aroused and directed at something that isn't visible?
Bam. So look, MLK already has conceded it's much more difficult. You had like concrete persons that you could point to in the South and practices you could point to in the South that you really don't have in the North. It's, oppression is more amorphous in the North. And, it's a little more hidden and covert in the North. Not that it doesn't exist, but it's more difficult to put your finger on it. And so people get, they feel hopeless, like there's nothing they can actually do, because sometimes the human brain needs something to see in order to react to, all right?
Well, that's exactly right, and this is what I was saying when I said it's harder to see a target. In the South, in the nonviolent movement, we were aided always, on the whole, by the brutality of our opponent. It isn't the same way in the North. The other thing is that you don't have legal segregation in the North as you do in the South. So it is much more difficult to get people to see exactly what you're doing, but it isn't an impossible job. It's a hard, it's a tedious job at times to get people to be aroused from their apathetic slumbers, but I still feel that Negroes in the North can be motivated just as they were motivated in the South. And I think as time goes on with the growing economic deprivation in the Negro community, it will even be easier because people will come to see that not only is something wrong in general, but something is wrong in particular in their own economic and housing situation.
Let's say this, man. I'm going to just be honest, man. Boy, was MLK wrong about that. He's just absolutely wrong, man. and I lament the fact that he's wrong about this. Because what Negroes in the North and the South have now done is they said, fuck the economic structures and the institutions. Fuck all that. We don't care about any of that shit at all. We just tired of niggas making excuses for not being white boys at the current moment. Why ain't you a white boy right now? If you ain't a white boy right now, it's something wrong with you, nigga. That's what we tell each other, bro. Why ain't you successful? I'm a good nigga. There's something wrong with you niggas. MLK says eventually people are going to be able to see it more. They're going to come to a greater awareness of what kind of systems exist and what kind of oppression exists so they can resist against it. Man, we are fucking bamboozled. We don't know what to do. It's like we in the second half, the coach done told us what to do, but we still refuse to fucking do it. Don't even care about even looking at the goddamn plays or trying to execute the plays the coach told us about. We just gonna do whatever the fuck we wanna do. It's the truth, man. So he was wrong about that. We don't see shit.
Well, what is it? I mean, how do you find it? It's very subtle in the North, is it not?
It's subtle, but it's becoming much more visible. Anybody can see that the schools are more segregated in the North today than they were in 1954 when the Supreme Court rendered its decision declaring segregation unconstitutional.
So he already said, look, man, the schools are even more segregated today. This was 11 months before he got shot and killed, man. This video was 11 months before he got shot and killed. Dude died in 1968, bruh. He died in 1968, bruh. So this is 1967. He already telling you, in the North, we thought that, like things would get better, but like things are worse. The schools are even more segregated than they were in the fucking rural South today. And the only response Negroes got is something wrong with us. We backwards. We knew something ontologically wrong with us. We need to do this. We need to do that. I blame you niggas. That's all we get. That's all we get. That's the analysis, the depth of the analysis that Negroes have today. And don't get a nigga who got a good job or he feel like he got a business or something. Oh, he gonna be talking the biggest shit ever. That nigga gonna be so uppity. You ain't seen an uppity ass nigga till you seen a nigga that got a good ass job. Or you got a nigga that started a business or some shit. I'm a great virtuous man. I have a business and you niggas just need to work harder. Fuck all the history and the systems and none of that shit. Just cause that single solitary nigga got a business, not everybody's fucking is an ignorant, fucking backward, lazy, shiftless, spineless ass nigga. Cause of him. If that ain't self-aggrandizing, bro, I don't know what is, bro. But let me stop, man, before I start getting pissed off, man. And I really don't want to get pissed off right now. Anyway, Ghetto User says, just got on support for the scholar. Expound on it, GG. Thank you for the donation, sir. Man, I've been talking all day, man. The Cash App do work, man. Let me just say that shit. And I'm putting myself out here, man, talking a lot of shit lately too, bro. Thank you for Willie, man. Just send me $20. Appreciate that, Willie. Appreciate that. That's my homeboy in motherfucking goddamn the Lou. What's up with you, Willie? Fucks with you, bro. You know that. That's my real homie. Will used to have a silver cap in his mouth. He had a platinum tooth before motherfuckers was wearing platinum teeth, but that's old school, man. You know I rock with you, Willie. Anyway, let's get back to this video, bro.
Anybody can look around the ghetto and see that ghetto schools are predominantly segregated and devoid of quality. Anyone who moves through a major ghetto of our country will see the housing conditions. People don't have to be reminded that they are forced to live in slums in many instances, and they're often rat-infested, vermin-filled slums. And it isn't too hard to see the exploitation that the Negro confronts in the ghetto, where he is forced to pay more for less and constantly trying to make ends meet, but because of either no job as a result of unemployment or a job that is so economically unprofitable that the person can't make ends meet. And I think they see all of these things, and more they are coming to see them, because before the people of the North were looking to the South, and they supported the struggles of the South. Now they are coming to see that their problems are very real, and they've got organized to grapple with them.
Now, the problem is being that Negroes have not organized in order to grapple and deal with the problems that they have in the North. That's the issue, man. That's the problem, bro. All right? And Negroes have turned on each other, bro. I'm just going to keep it 100. Negroes have turned on each other, man. Negroes have so much to say about the character and the value of other people, but if you look at the math ain't mathing. Could it be an entire civilization, a culture of persons are just lazy as a motherfucker? Just don't want better shit out of life, that's what it is. Or is it some shit that basically set us back that we need to learn how to deal with and draw on each other's strength to help each other lift up as, we climb ourselves. Uplift as we climb. No, not that. So there is no increasingly, more acute means by which to interpret our own systemic oppression, because we just don't have the capacity to do it. And you got so many moralistic, highbrow Negroes who are willing to throw each other under the bus for the sake of making themselves look like they big boys or big girls. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. So MLK is wrong on this score. Hate to say it, man. I wish he was right. That increasingly we began to understand and see the interlocking so-called systems of oppression and how they're keeping us down. But instead of being able to interpret what the reality is, all we do now is we talk about conservative talking points or some bullshit like that. Ain't no more people conservative than the Southern Negroes who was in the civil rights movement, dog. Them was the original conservative Negroes, man. They wasn't turning up and getting lit. Well, that might not be true. They was juking for their way in their day. But the reality is, man, come on, man. MLK is saying, look, the people of the North need to be able to do what the people in the South did, and I believe that they have the wherewithal and the mental acuity to do it. I just don't see it. We done dropped the ball. Let's keep pushing with them.
Was there something hypocritical about the fact that the South existed and the North could point the finger? And then when the Civil Rights Acts were passed in the early 60s, you couldn't point the finger anymore?
Well, there was no doubt about the hypocrisy of large segments of the nation on the whole question of racial equality. I think the best example is that many of the senators from the North and the West, and congressmen generally, who voted for civil rights legislation in '64 and even '65 with the Voting Rights Bill, refused last year to vote for civil rights legislation because it dealt with an issue applicable to the North, the whole housing question. And this, it seems to me, was the greatest expression of the hypocrisy of many of our citizens and many of the senators and congressmen of the North.
So he's saying basically the northern congressmen are hypocrites. Because basically what you got to do is you got to deal with the housing crisis in the North. If you really want to see justice implemented in this country, do something about the housing crisis and the dilapidated conditions that people are living in the North. And it's primarily black people, man, who are living in these conditions, man. It's primarily black folks that's living in these conditions, bro. Now, before I start the video back, man, let me do some housekeeping. Shout out to Gabinga O. I've already shouted out Ghetto User. Shout out to Gabinga O. Chris Lewis, shout out to him. Shout out to Life of Commerce. And shout out to Tommy Strategic. He says, excellent breakdown. Is there a chance that Northern Black Americans felt a compensatory victory through the South in relation to desegregation? Some were sending money down South and keeping up with local news. Look, anytime black people, especially during that time, man, we already knew what the racial tenor was in the country prior to the second Civil Rights Act, the one in 64, okay? Bro, most of the black folks that you see in the North came from the South. It just through the Great Migration. It's just a fact. Most of the Negro, okay, bingo, my bad. Most Negroes were concentrated in the South. They left the South in order to, find freedom in the North. But they thought that the North was all, this benign culture of white folks ready to embrace them. That was a lie. No. They thought they were reaching the promised land. What actually occurred was they got corralled into ghettos. So directly after Jim Crow is what in history I would consider to be the ghettoization phase of black life, where you got poor black people from the South arriving in the North, and the industrial strength of the country is on a decline, but there's still the capacity or the ability of some black folks to work in the automotive industry or in one of the other satellite industries that kind of support the automotive or the other major industries that were occurring in America at the time. But then right now we live in a service-based economy. We don't manufacture very much anymore. I mean, we got the car industry to some degree, but what else do we manufacture, man? It's big. What's our major export here, man? Dwayne says stop by to show love. Shout out to Dwayne. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, bro. But I mean, at the end of the day, he's saying that, these congresspersons, man, they really don't want to seal the deal. They just gave lip service to what was going on in the South because quite frankly, what was happening in the South was ostentatiously, overtly brutal. But what would you rather die by? One blow or 1,000 fucking cuts, man? Slice my throat once, bruh. Don't nick me to death, man. Don't nick me to death, bruh. Don't cut me 1,000 times. But MLK was on the next phase of this, man. He was on the next phase of this.
That part of the dilemma now, that people knew that Negroes were being denied what was guaranteed to them by the Constitution, by the fact that they were citizens of this country. Then when they were given those rights, do you feel the white community said, well, we've given them all that we have, now it's up to them?
Well, I think the dilemma is much deeper, and I think one during this period of transition has to be very honest with America. And honesty impels me to admit that America has broad racist elements still alive. Racism is still existing in American society in many areas of the society, North and South. And the other thing is that there has never been a single, solid, determined commitment of large segments of white America on the whole question of racial equality. I think we have to see that vacillation has always existed, ambivalence has always existed, and this to me is the so-called white backlash. It's merely a new name for an old phenomenon. I see the white backlash as a continuation of the same ambivalence and vacillation of white America on the whole question of racial justice that has existed since the founding of our nation. I think the other thing that we must see at this time is that many of the people who supported us in Selma, in Birmingham, were really outraged about the extremist behavior toward Negroes. But they were not at that moment, and they are not now, committed to genuine equality for Negroes. It's much...
Bam. So there you go. Like, okay, so basically, MLK right here is saying, look, they saw what was happening that was overtly brutal in the South, and they wanted to put an end to that because they believed that, you know, that brutality was less than, you know, civil. It was brutal, you know, like, so it's like, we're not savages. We don't have to behave that way. It's not that we actually believe that Negroes are equal or we ought to work to undermine all of the processes that put them at a disadvantage or that marginalized them or that exploited them. It's not a true effort to right all the wrongs. It's just to stop beating people. That ain't a fucking enough to change all the shit that they did, man. Real talk. Oh, we're just gonna stop beating you. That's justice. That ain't no fucking justice, man. Related to the shit that happened in this country to black folks, man. And if you believe that that's true, if you believe that, man, fuck you, nigga. I'm telling you right now, that's how I feel about you, bruh. Straight up. Just because white people stop beating the shit out of us, that's justice. That's crazy, man. They put us through 200 years, 250 years of slavery, 100 years of Jim Crow. Shit, God knows 70 years of ghettoization and the shit's still going on. And they saying it's all justice now, it's all hunky-dory. But he basically, like, these people have never been actually dedicated and acclimated to doing right in terms of racial justice. And you see the shit today. They'll talk about him and just basically use the whole content of character speech and I have a dream. That's all the fuck they refer to. They'll never even refer to this here. They'll never even have a conversation about this here. They'll never discuss it. They just take the sound bites that they like and chop and screw the shit and then present him as if all he is like a colorblind warrior or some shit like that. And now they so bold with it, they gonna tell you what racism is. Man, MLK would be going off on these corporations right now, talking about how exploitative they are, not only in the native countries like America or the first world countries, but about the havoc they wreak in third world countries. That's what it fucks me up, man. I'm telling you, I'm perplexed with Negroes and their understanding. So you got corporations like Nike and Adidas. These motherfuckers got sweatshop labor popping off in third world countries and shit. And now they want to talk about exploitation of fucking, race and hate and shit like that. What type, man? What are we thinking, bro? These people have no problem with exploiting motherfuckers, man, in second and third world countries. Don't give a shit about the companies where these people work in sweatshops and shit. Let me stop talking, man. Let me let him talk.
It's easier to integrate a lunch counter than it is to guarantee an annual income, for instance, to get rid of poverty for Negroes and all poor people. It's much easier to integrate a bus than it is to make genuine integration a reality and quality education a reality in our schools. It's much easier to integrate even a public park than it is to get rid of slums. And I think we are in a new era, a new phase of the struggle, where we have moved from a struggle for decency, which characterized our struggle for 10 or 12 years, to a struggle for genuine equality. And this is where we're getting the resistance, because there was never any intention to go this far. People were reacting to Bull Connor and to Jim Clark rather than acting in good faith for the realization of genuine equality.
Do you think?
So there you have it, folks. Like, you know, and I know it sounds like I'm about to bust the blood vessel in this bitch, but at the end of the day, man, look. He basically said the civil rights movement in terms of desegregation, that was the easy part. That was the easy part of all of it. That was the shit that really, it was no sweat. Because people didn't like to see the brute, but we keep rehearsing the same bullshit. And we keep going back to the brutality of certain people in the South. And, you know, people being overtly hateful and shit like that. That's, I mean, basically MLK already had the game back then. Not everybody's co-opting them and made it about hate. He was like, this ain't about overt hate, bruh. It's about you basically ensuring that we have the same opportunities that everybody else has, because the systems basically treat us as fairly as it does everybody else. But the system was never designed for us. They never had any good faith in cashing in the check on racial justice. They never were orientated towards doing what was right by us. They just wanted to end the brutality. They didn't want to see that. Some overt brutality, but they weren't really dedicated to ushering in equality for all of us. And shout out to the people, man, who hit me up on the Cash App. I really appreciate that, man. The Cash App still working. Shout out to Daryl. Shout out to my man BGS. Shout out to Stefan, to Hootie, and Crypto Plan, and Joseph Frank. Shout out to them, man. Straight up. The easy part was the desegregation part. That's the easy part. The hotels, the buses, that was the easy part. It's the next phase is the most difficult. And ain't nobody stepping up to the plate, man. If you even start to talk about systemic racism in this bitch, the first thing motherfuckers do is, especially niggas, you self-aggrandizing ass niggas, the first thing you do is, oh, racism anymore. Tell me if I'm lying, bro. Tell me if I'm lying, man. The first thing Negroes will start doing, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't happen anymore. That's the first thing you niggas gonna start saying. It was so long ago. It was like, nigga, happened. MLK died in 68, bro. That was 50 years ago. Some of you niggas ain't 50 years old, I get it. But damn, you ain't that young. You ain't, motherfucker, this shit wasn't that long ago. Man, bro, you know, exactly keeping 100. Niggas want a handout. They ain't give a fuck about white boy. Nobody cared about white boys getting a handout. Now you got niggas talk the same language that a white boy using to prevent a nigga from getting a goddamn subsidy from the government that they pay taxes into, that all the European immigrants got in this bitch from the GI Bill to FHA loans, niggas will be the ones coming up saying, you can't get nothing, dude. Niggas don't deserve it. It'll be niggas saying this shit. It makes me sick to my goddamn stomach, man. You fucking bourgeois, self-aggrandizing, not accomplishing a fucking thing other than being the ordinary ass nigga. It pisses me. I want to smack the shit out of some of these niggas. Straight up, bro. I am not even lying, man. Niggas don't need no reparations. Niggas is where they at because of niggas. Oh, let me stop, man. Let me cut it out, bro. I'm a real man. I'm a responsible man. I'm a good man. I'm the model of what black men should be. Nigga, fuck you. Take a rope, nigga, and fucking off yourself. Bitch ass nigga. Self-aggrandizing, tap dancing ass motherfucking white boy dick sucking motherfucker. And that's exactly right, Marvin Soul. They didn't like the overt racism because it made the country look like hypocrites. Exactly. That's the only reason they ain't like the shit. Let me let him speak, man. So he's basically saying the easy part was the part that we did. That's the easy part. The more difficult part is the part to come. And niggas now is calling each other racist. Oh, you're a racist. Oh, you don't like people. Oh, there's something wrong with you. You know, I grew up and there's nothing really actually wrong out here. You know, like I just work really hard. I went to school and kissed a few white people's ass and, you know, got bent over and got fucked in the anus a few times, but that really doesn't matter. I kind of like it down there. But anyway, let me stop, man. Let me let him speak, bro.
White people in this country, and I'm talking about non-segregationists, people devoid or thinking they're devoid of racism. Do you have any idea of what they want the Negro to be in America?
Well, it depends on the level that we are talking here, because I think you have to make a distinction between the people who are genuinely and absolutely committed in the white community on the question of racial equality. And I must confess that I think they're in a very small minority. I think the vast majority...
So there he goes. I mean, look, MLK telling the straight truth, man. Look, it's the amount of white folks who are really actually dedicated towards justice for black people is small. Very small minority. The vast majority of white folks are.
Of white Americans will go but so far. It's a kind of installment plan for equality, and they are always looking for an excuse to go but so far.
Why are they looking for the excuse? What is it about the Negro? I mean, every other group that came as an immigrant somehow, not easily, but somehow got around it. Is it just the fact that Negroes are black?
That's a part of it, and that grows out of something else. You can't thingify anything without depersonalizing that something. If you use something as a means to an end, at that moment you make it a thing and you depersonalize it. The fact is that the Negro was a slave in this country for 244 years. That was a willful thing that was done. The Negro was brought here in chains, treated in very inhuman fashion, and this led to the thingification of the Negro. So he was not looked upon as a person. He was not looked upon as a human being with the same status and worth as other human beings. And the other thing is that human beings cannot continue to do wrong without eventually rationalizing that wrong. So slavery was justified morally, biologically, theoretically, scientifically, everything else. And it seems to me that white America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face. The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma, and that can never be overlooked. So I think these things are absolutely necessary. The other thing is that America freed the slaves in 1863.
Now hold on, before I move forward. When he says the thingification of the Negro, he's really mean the objectification of the Negro, the dehumanization of the Negro, the rationalization of the injustice directed towards the Negro. Yeah, it's about color, but it's not just about color. It's about the objectification of the color as a means by which to depersonalize the thingification or the objectification, so you can basically justify the objectification, the exploitation, and the violence directed towards the Negro. You created a whole constellation of rationalizations and justifications for our objectification. And then you utilize color as a means by which, to throw extra sauce on the excuse. Like there's something ontologically, naturally wrong with us, as opposed to there being a rationalization of an entire constellations of systems which try to prevent our to thwart our full recognition as human beings. So yeah, he's spitting. But then he's also going to point to how differently black people have been treated. No other Europeans have been made to be slaves in this bitch. They'll talk their talk. The Jews will talk the talk. The Irish will talk the talk. The Italians, we were indentured servants. Bitch-made motherfuckers. You crackers wasn't no goddamn slaves in this bitch. Tell the truth, motherfuckers. Stop making goddamn excuses and keep it a fucking buck. White boy love to make fucking excuses and shit and talk about, I had it hard and I don't hate anybody. Motherfucker, you know what happened to us, man. Y'all ain't stupid. And you know what you got and what we didn't get. So let him tell it, man.
Through the Emancipation Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln, but gave the slaves no land or nothing in reality, and as a matter of fact, to get started on. At the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that there was a willingness to give the white peasants from Europe an economic base. And yet it refused to give its black peasants from Africa, who came here involuntarily in chains and had worked free for 244 years, any kind of economic base. And so emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. It was freedom to the winds and rains of heaven. It was freedom without food to eat or land to cultivate, and therefore it was freedom and famine at the same time. And when white Americans tell the Negro to lift himself by his own bootstraps, they don't look over the legacy of slavery and segregation. I believe we ought to do all we can and seek to lift ourselves by our own bootstraps, but it's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And many Negroes, by the thousands and millions, have been left bootless as a result of all of these years of oppression and as a result of a society that deliberately made his color a stigma and something worthless and degrading.
Now, see, he even spit more like, first of all, MLK is not stupid. He's saying, look, man, now you got a whole bunch of Negro in the black manosphere also. Who to me, they just pussyless men. They got problems with bitches. Excuse me if the language offends you. I got a problem with these hoes. But I'm a good nigga. I'm one of the great ones. I'm a good one. And I don't like the other niggers, the other darkies. Y'all sound like bitch-made niggas to me, man. And all of it is for bitches and shit, pussy. You use the space purely for pussy. No, I got some complaints against women too, but come on, man. I despise some of you niggas in this space, for real. I ain't gonna even lie. But let me stop, bro. I wanna keep it real. Boy, I want to smack the shit out of some niggas in this space, bruh. Straight up. Take off. I ain't lying, bro. They hate niggas worse than white boys do. You want me to back the video up? Is that what you saying, BGS? Oh, man, let me stop, man. I just don't like tough-ass, nerdy motherfuckers, man. Trying to disrespect and denounce other black folks, man. I don't like that shit. I don't like it, bro. I think that's some bitch-made shit. You want white people approval that goddamn bad? You got your ass tooted up? That you ready to back that thing up that bad? Man. Oh, man. Listen to what he say, bro. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
And when white Americans tell the Negro to lift himself by his own bootstraps, they don't look over the legacy of slavery and segregation. I believe we ought to do all we can and seek to lift ourselves by our own bootstraps. But
so basically he's saying, look, we ought to work to lift ourselves up and do the best we can to ensure that we can do the best we have of what we got. But we've been doing that shit. That shit ain't gonna do enough. You asking motherfuckers to lift themselves up by their bootstraps who ain't even got no goddamn boots. And look, I'm so tired. Hey, man, look, you know what pisses me off? Is a bitch-ass niggas that say, like, when I get angry, it's emotions, like they ain't got no emotions. Nigga, half the reason you bitch-ass niggas in this space is because you done been hurt by a bitch. Keep it 100, dog. You all up in your feelings about what hoes doing. I don't have any emotions. I'm stoic. You a lie. You a goddamn lie. You a motherfucking lie. Ain't none of you niggas in this space, Dr. Spock. Niggas in this space, man, are emotional as a motherfucker for real, dog. I'm keeping it a buck, man. All this shit comes from emotions, bruh. Most of the shit that these niggas in this space are venting about is they fee-fees and shit. You niggas is like emo rappers and shit. What's the name of that one dude that died, Juice WRLD? I can, and the love that you gave me, and now I just hate you. I love and I hate you. So now I have to fuck you all. I thought you were my everything, but now you're nothing to me. All I'm saying is the ability to interpret what's going on with us. The ability to see what's actually going on with us. No, I'm talking about that Juice WRLD cat. Look, I know it's old, but I'm just making reference to how niggas are crying and shit. These niggas sound like Lil Uzi Vert or something, man. Bro, what do you need a female to build for, dog? No disrespect, but like, what do you need that for? You need a female to reproduce. You don't need them to build what? They ain't gonna build shit, no way. They gonna sit there and watch you put the shit together. You ever seen a woman man, I done been with many women, putting furniture together, doing a whole bunch of shit. Most of them are just gonna sit their ass back and watch you do it. The only thing they fucking do is sit there and eat and watch TV and tell you where to move it. The only thing they can build is what it's like the reference to King Solomon's temple where not a sound was made, not an instrument of man, no metallic substances, no nothing. And that's basically the workings of the womb. Men too focused on what chicks doing, man, and this motherfucker, bruh. They can't even see what's really actually going on in the real world and what's happening to black folks for real. And we know it's not just material. We get that, bro. But first you have to understand what's actually happening to black folks. And stop using these fake-ass moral arguments that white people gave you. Stop it, bro. Let me let him speak, man.
It's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And many Negroes, by the thousands and millions, have been left bootless as a result of all of these years of oppression and as a result of a society that deliberately made his color a stigma and something worthless and degrading.
Apart from wanting to live better, which all of us want to do, to raise one's children in a better way, to be better, does the Negro in America know what he wants to be?
I'm convinced that almost every Negro in this country, other than those who have been so scarred by the system that they've become pathological in the process, and we all have to battle with pathology. Nobody really knows what it means to be a Negro unless one can really experience it. And I know we all have to battle with this constant drain of a feeling of nobodiness. But in spite of this, I think the vast majority of Negroes in this country know that they want to be people, they want to be men, they want equality, period. It just boils down to that. And we haven't been able to be people. We haven't been men because of all of the conditions that we've lived with and the syndrome of deprivation surrounding conditions, whether it's in housing, in the economic area, or in schools, or in the vicious credit practices that we face in the ghetto, and all of the problems of closed doors and constant defeats. But in spite of all this, I think we all know basically that we want to be men. We want to be persons judged not on the basis of the color of our skin, but on the basis of the content of our character.
But you know that many young Negroes don't want anything that smacks of the American white middle class. But do they want something that smacks of whatever is the black middle class? Or do they just not want bourgeois values, which after all are the basis of this democracy?
Well, I think we have to see what they are saying. I would be the first to agree that integration does not mean giving up everything that has an Afro-American taint, so to speak, a background. I think there are certain unique things within any culture and certain cultural patterns that when you get to the process of amalgamation can really lift the whole culture. And it seems to me that integration at its best is the opportunity to participate in the beauty of diversity. I think the other thing that we've got to see is that these young people are saying that there must be a revolution of values in our country. As Jimmy Baldwin said on one occasion, what advantage is there in being integrated into a burning house? And I feel that there is a need for a revolution of values in America, because some of the values that presently exist are certainly out of line with the values and the idealistic structure that brought our nation into being. Unfortunately, we haven't been true to these ideals, and many of the values of so-called white middle-class society are values that need to be reviewed and re-evaluated, and in a real sense, they need to be changed. So I think the young people in the Negro community who are raising these questions are raising some very profound questions about our total society. In other words, they are saying that there must be a restructuring of the architecture of our society where values are concerned. And with this, I would agree with. So in the quest for integration, I think we can offer our whole nation something, because there are three evils in our nation. It's not only racism, but economic exploitation of poverty would be one, and then militarism. And I think in a sense, and in a very real sense, these three are tied inextricably together, and we aren't going to get rid of one without getting rid of the other.
When you stood on the Lincoln...
So anyway, man, like, you know, basically shit, black people, what's wrong with black people? Why don't they just, you know, adapt to white people's values and just fit on right on in? Like, hold on, wait a minute, man. We ain't got to whitewash ourselves all the way down in order, but a lot of black people do this shit. They work as hard as they can to be as white as they can, even though they can't become physically white. They work diligently to whitewash themselves culturally, or with the, you know, the speech patterns that they use, or with the kind of, you know, bodily performances that they utilize, right? They do such things in order to, you know, make themselves appear to have the right kind of values so that they will be accepted into the fold. But like the whole point is, man, why lose yourself in the process of amalgamation? Why should I lose myself? Why shouldn't you lose yourself? Why I gotta lose me? And who I am and what I, you know, like my cultural practices, just to make you feel comfortable in your environment. That's why, you know, like, I don't talk like, man, I speak to white people in plain language. Like in the classroom or on YouTube, I talk shit. And I don't sit there and try to use different enunciations to make white people feel comfortable, man. Fuck all that. They know how you talk anyway. They already know what you about anyway. I mean, do I know how to code switch? I ain't gonna be ignorant. Like, I ain't gonna, you know, go up to the president of the fucking university and be like, what's up, my nigga? That's That's just absolutely absurd. But I mean, come on, man. I don't have to, hello, how are you doing, sir? How are you? Fuck that, man. Too many motherfucking tail-tucking, nut-riding black dudes, man. Too many, man. And women. I think about something like rock and roll. Rock and roll wouldn't be possible without Western and African cultural influences working syncretically, or whatever, however you fucking say it. You wouldn't have it. Which I do. I happen to like rock and roll. The earliest manifestations of it, all the way to the later incarnations. But you know, the funny thing about it is, everything black people leave behind, they leave it behind all the way. Just when other people start to fuck with it. We need to stop doing that shit. Basically, he's beginning to hint towards the fact that like the basic values and the norms and the structures in America need to change to some degree. You think that shit is happening, man? They done everything they can to stymie, to thwart, and to block what MLK was talking about. And basically now they give lip service to this guy as a gesture, a fake ass gesture. Jazz been not us. You look at the people, look online and see who the biggest jazz artists are at the current moment. I ain't talking about 30 years ago, I'm talking about right now. You can ask a Negro to listen to jazz, that Negro will be like, man, fuck that shit, man. Put on that, turn up, dog. That shit ain't lit. Let me keep going though, man.
Memorial, that day in
I swear to God, we ain't got much more.
August '63, and you said I had a dream. Did that dream envision that you could see a war in Asia preventing the federal government doing for the Negroes, preventing the society doing for the Negroes that which you think had to be done?
No, I didn't envision that then. I must confess that that period was a great period of hope for me. And I'm sure for many others all across the nation, many of the Negroes who had about lost hope, saw a solid decade of progress in the South. And in 1954, which was, 64, 1963, 9 years after the Supreme Court's decision to be in the March on Washington, meant a great deal. It was a high moment, a great watershed moment. But I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, I'm not one to...
So while you got these white wing and liberal motherfuckers talking about the dream has been actualized, MLK himself says the dream has been turned into a fucking nightmare. They never say this shit when it comes time to talk about MLK doing his birthday or doing Black History Month. And Negroes don't even say shit about it. Because they ain't never even studied him. They ain't even watched the videos on him. They ain't read none of his works. I ain't gonna say not enough, put it that way. Not enough Negroes have actually studied MLK.
lose hope. I keep on hoping. I still have faith in the future. But I've had to analyze many things over the last few years, and I would say over the last few months. I've gone through a lot of soul-searching and agonizing moments, and I've come to see that we have many more difficult days ahead, and some of the old optimism was a little superficial, and now it must be tempered with a solid realism. And
we were a little too idealistic. Now we have to temper and circumscribe our ideals with a little realism. Everybody wants to be nostalgic about the civil rights movement and shit like that. That's not the move, man, for the future. They were off of the civil rights movement. The leaders of the civil rights movement were off of it as soon as the work got done, as soon as the bill got passed. They were on to the next thing. Unfortunately, black people were not on to the next thing. As a whole, collectively. He thought that eventually black people would be able to use red pill thinking is about politics and being able to understand reality. It's not about pussy. It's about politics or your political reality. By the way, the dudes that created the movie The Matrix, both of them motherfuckers done transitioned to bitches now. Think about that when you're talking about your red pill shit anyway. But red pill is really actually about understanding political and metaphysical reality. It's not about pussy. I don't get what you guys don't get about that. And it ain't about politics in the conventional sense either. Going to vote and all this shit and worrying about what the fuck the politicians are doing. That's not what politics actually is. And if you don't believe me about the Wachowski brothers, man, go look the shit up. Both of them motherfuckers, both of them have changed their fucking genders. No, they deny that. They deny that. They deny that, King Oliver. They say, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. She just trying to get, she clout chasing, looking for that bag. I don't know what the reality is, but, you know, at the end of the day, the Wachowski sisters, that's just the facts. But the whole point, I liken the movie The Matrix to the allegory of the cave from Plato. That's how I perceive it. That's how I look at it. So if you really want to talk about what it draws from, like, look at the articles written about The Matrix and the allegory of the cave from Plato. I done already done videos about this, but, you know, at the end of the day, my man said, no, you know, like the dream is a nightmare. Now, white people will tell us, we gave you everything you need. We gave you all you need. What more do you niggas want? Now you got Negroes saying the same thing. Man, I dated a chick, man, this bitch told me, what a dumb bitch. We should not give Negroes reparations because they'll just fuck the money up. Come on, man. And this bitch ain't turning down shit from the government. Niggas don't need no reparations. They'll just spend it up, fuck it up. Fuck niggas and reparations. You got black people saying this shit. And I know women ain't saying, I know black women ain't saying this shit. They'll take anything from anywhere. Then you try to tell them and educate them, the first thing they do is they get mad at you. They get pissed at you. Oh, man. Oh, man. Them bitches ain't turning shit down. They ain't turning no welfare down. They ain't turning no Section 8 down. They ain't turning no government cheese and no WIC down. They ain't turning Medicare or Medicaid down. But they'll say, fuck reparations for niggas. Oh, man. Hey, bro, I don't even, look, bro, I'm about to side off, man. This shit right here, it just, black people fuck me up with their contradictions, bro.
I think the realistic fact is that we still have a long, long way to go, and that we are involved in a war on Asian soil, which, if not checked and stopped, can poison the very soul of our nation.
Dr. King, even if there had not been a war in Asia, would you still not have had this nightmare insofar as the Negro movement for equality then touched on two things that the white community holds sacred, their children and their property?
Oh, I have no doubt that we would have encountered great difficulties, great problems of resistance if the war had not been in existence. So that I'm not going to say that all of our problems will be solved if the war in Vietnam is ended, but I do say that the war makes it infinitely more difficult to deal with these problems. When a nation becomes obsessed with the guns of war, it loses its social perspective, and programs of social uplift suffer. This is just a fact of history, so that we do face many more difficulties as a result of the war. It's much more difficult to really arouse a conscience during a time of war. I noticed the other day, some weeks ago, a Negro was shot down in Chicago, and it was a clear case of police brutality. That was on page 30 of the paper, but on page 1 at the top was 780 Viet Cong killed. That is something about a war like this that makes people insensitive. It dulls the conscience. It strengthens the forces of reaction, and it brings into being bitterness and hatred and violence. And it strengthened the military-industrial complex of our country, and it's made our job much more difficult, because I think we can go along with some programs, if we didn't have this war on our hands, that would cause people to adjust to new developments, just as they did in the South. They said they'd never ride the bus with us, blood would flow in the streets, they wouldn't go to school, and all of these things. But when people came to see that they had to do it because the law insisted, they finally adjusted. And I think white people all over this country will adjust once the nation makes it clear that in schools, in housing, we've got to learn to live together as brothers. I think the biggest problem now is that we got our gains over the last 12 years at bargain rates, so to speak. Didn't cost the nation anything. In fact, it helped the economic side of the nation to integrate lunch counters and public accommodations. It didn't cost the nation anything to get the right to vote established. And now we are confronting issues that cannot be solved without costing the nation billions of dollars. Now, I think this is where we're getting our greatest resistance. They may put it on many other things, but we can't get rid of slums and poverty without it costing the nation something.
And there you have it. And there you have it. The motherfuckers don't want to pay to end the problem. They can't pay the debt off. And it ain't just a matter of cash either. It ain't just a matter of giving Negroes checks. It's investing in their well-being. Anybody care to participate for a quick minute? I'm going to allow somebody to participate for 15, 20 minutes, man, and then I'm out of this bitch. I swear to God, man, I got shit to do. Enter. Hold on. Let me invite. Copy. V. Enter. Thank you, Dr. Thunder. Appreciate your help, my brother. Appreciate the support, man. I appreciate it. So look, I said I was going to do this. Sometimes I get a little bit lazy or I'm tired and I got other things going on. So I just don't actually, sometimes I don't do things. There's like a respite between one show to the next, but I just need to get this off my chest. And tomorrow I'm going to come with an article from a Harvard professor called Alberto Alessina that kind of explains why there's a different kind of system in the United States versus Europe. So anyway, brothers, man, how are y'all doing this evening, man?
Yo, what's poppin', man? I'm in the crib earlier. I was at the airport, man. I was in Seattle. I'm back at the crib. So what's good, man? I'm here. What's poppin'?
Man, I just had to go over this MLK joint, man. You know, I said I was going to do it earlier, and I knew that you were at the airport, and, I knew that I probably caught you when you were making the transition to the flight from the, actually being in the terminal area or something like that. But yeah, I appreciate you for having joined me initially. All I wanted to do was talk about Takeoff at that time and why he got shot. You know, the whole concept of it being a setup. I wanted to talk about Lil Cam. Also, I wanted to talk about Jay Prince Jr. Also, I wanted to cover the Migo band situation. Like, the dude was just brandishing a weapon in Texas without shooting it. You don't do that, man. It's a no-no, okay? So I wanted to cover all those issues, and I think I did. I don't want that to interfere with what's going on here. But when it comes to now, today about MLK, what I wanted to do was have a conversation about some of the things that MLK said that don't gain any traction from anybody today because they basically remixed him, man.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that, the burning house thing, like a lot of people know that. I think that applies to pretty much like our generation. I think hold
on tight. Shout out to Ray Knowles. Shout out to Detroit 313. Great stream. He said I should tune in more. I should tune in more. 100. Shout out to Mr. Blue Collar. Appreciate that. And shout out to Marvin Soul. He says in terms of reparations, some will waste their reparations, but many won't, and that's what they're afraid of. And I'm gonna let Marcus finish his his thoughts before I say anything else.
No, responding. I was interested in hearing what you had to say about it. Go ahead and respond first, man.
Look, I do agree that some people will blow their money, but here's the problem, right? Most people won't blow their money, especially if you write into how you repair their situation the same shit you did for white folks. You invested in their you invested in their wealth by investing in the FHA loan schema. You invested into wealth building for them. But you didn't give us the same opportunities that they got. You invested in the Homestead Act in order to subsidize European immigrant life. You invested in them. All we saying is we've invested money in this motherfucker through our equity, our labor.
Blood, sweat, tears.
Man, we invested in this bitch. We deserve to get something out of it. Now the question is, you know what a nigger really is? Well, anyway, a niggardly person. A niggardly person is a stingy motherfucker. Look up the word niggardly. I'll show it to you. I just want you to see what a niggard really is. Straight up. I mean, I know I'm being extra, man. Gigi gets a little extra every now and then, man. Okay, you see this? Niggardly, not generous, stingy, serving out the rations with a niggardly hand. Parsimonious, close-fisted, penny pinching, cheese-sparing, penurious, grasping, greedy, avaricious, screwed-like, ungenerous, illiberal, mean, stingy, mingy, tight-fisted, money-grubbing, money-grabbing.
Yeah. It's all those.
Mm.
Now, who was the main motherfuckers like that? Huh? I'm gonna show you the face of a niggardly motherfucker. Let me show you. Let me stop the screen. I'll show you the face. I gotta make myself big so people can see it. Here's the face of some niggardly motherfuckers. I just hate to tell you that, bro. I mean, this is reality. That's a niggardly woman right there. Is she not?
Hey, real talk, bro. Real talk.
That's a real Those are some niggardly people. Stingy, money grubbing, tight-fisted, don't want to share shit. You ever seen like the cartoon with, I forget what was it Daffy Duck? Just like, mine, oh mine.
Scrooge McDuck looking there.
That's the sort of shit these people is on, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they on, bro. Look, I'm sorry, man. Go ahead, man.
First and foremost, I just like to say, hey, thank you for the stream and you spending your time out of your day, week after week, going through and speaking to folks in this space in regards to everything that you speak on. So I appreciate you. I just want you to give your flowers while you here. You feel me?
Shit, man. If I keep going like I'm going, man, I might bust a blood vessel and be out this motherfucker. I'll be going hard, man. I'm just being facetious by saying that, but thank you, sir.
Of course, man. So I'm gonna keep it real with you. I honestly believe the reason why you're not as liked as you well, you probably already know, but I honestly think is because you sound a lot like Yvette Cornell and Antonio Moore. When it comes to what MLK has stated in his reactions, when it comes to reparations, when it comes to guarding your particular legacy of slavery and lineage within the United States of America, your contributions to it and what you're owed, i.e. is a debt and not a handout. You feel me? You sound a lot like Yvette and Tone. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You sound
that should arouse hate in people.
Oh man, you would not.
In the manosphere?
You would. Oh man, you would not. I mean, you experiencing it now, right? What do you think? A lot of the hate and vitriol. Hey, I'm keeping it real with you.
These niggas won't have a conversation with me. The last motherfucker I was supposed to have a conversation about this shit, the nigga left the conversation and went to his own platform and then started calling me a grifter and shit like a bitch.
Man. See that?
Now tell me I'm lying about the shit. We could have had the conversation right then and there. I'll never talk to that nigga again.
That's why they don't like.
And if you want some beef, nigga, come fuck with me. I live in Texas, nigga. I'll put you in the same place. Take off in, nigga. Come holler at me about it.
There it is, right there. Not the Yvette Cornell. That shit right there. That shit right there, nigga. That's why they don't like that nigga.
I don't give a fuck, man. I don't care, nigga.
Yeah.
Because, man, if you start talking, first of all, you trying to bully niggas in a cyberspace where you don't see the nigga, you can't even touch the nigga. I know for a fact you bitch niggas wouldn't say this shit to no man in their goddamn face. Especially a nigga like me. I know you wouldn't say it to a nigga like me in my face. If you saw my stature, you definitely wouldn't say it.
Stature, nigga.
I ain't the roughest, toughest nigga. I ain't saying I am. But come on, man. There's a difference between being tough on a Twitter finger, man. You don't hear me I get angry with stupid shit. I'm not out here saying fuck individual niggas. And I try to come to people respectfully if I can. But it gets to a point where, bruh, if you want to talk all this rough and tough shit, nigga, let's get the tough shit to cracking, nigga. Fuck all the talking. Now I'm going to talk to my people and share my ideas, but don't try to get tough with me on some internet shit, nigga. Then I know what your face look like. You don't know what the fuck I look like, nigga. I could have come up on you in the dark of the night and you wouldn't even fucking know it. To show you how stupid these niggas are. I'm telling you, man, I swear to God, niggas is not really actually smart, bruh. It just I'm pissed off at the sanctimony and the self-aggrandizing fucking fuckery these niggas on, man. Like niggas done made them the Pope of the Manosphere or some shit. Nigga, fuck your papacy.
Nothing
I'm
new.
a heretic, nigga. I'm a fucking heretic then. What you gonna do about it? Nothing but bitch and complain. On the sideline. Like a little bitch ass nigga. I told you niggas I don't do internet beef, man. I'm tired of that shit. Going back and forth, jaw-jacking and shit. And it's unnecessary. You ain't gonna agree 100% with no motherfucking man, no way.
Right.
You ain't gonna agree with yourself from one time to the next. People change their own opinions and their own values over time. But you want niggas to agree with you about everything you say. You sanctimonious ass, bitch ass niggas got me fucked up. Then you get all disrespectful about it. Nigga, fuck your ideas, nigga. Fuck your business and fuck you, nigga. That's what I'm saying. If you can't show respect, nigga, fuck you, nigga. And I dare you to do something about it. I live in Huntsville, Texas, motherfucker, where Takeoff got shot, nigga, for standing his ground. For niggas standing their ground. Come violate my castle, nigga. Shit. This shit pisses me off. I mean, I get pissed off about it, bro. Cause I don't even come to niggas like with no disrespect. But they got all this fucking disrespect and shit. It's stupid, man.
Nothing new.
It's some bullshit. They'll tell you what you supposed to say and oh, this nigga's not this and this man's not that and this. Man, fuck all that. Nigga, do you, man. I'm trying to educate these people out here on what's the greatest thinkers thought. And niggas got the nerve to come to me with some old motherfucking Betty Crocker bullshit about what they feel and what they think. Fuck what you feel and what you think. I'm covering the greats, man. I'm going through history. I'm giving you classes of what the fucking elitist philosophical and political figures of the black community and the Western community have in terms of thought. And niggas telling me, be quiet. And I'm trying to take niggas' money. Because I was trying to do a documentary. Man, fuck you hoe ass niggas, man. Fuck that shit. I gave all that money back to every motherfucker who invested in it, too. Every last fucking goddamn copper red cent. It pisses me off. I'm trying to do some shit for Negroes, man. To help them as best I can. I ain't got all the answers, but the one thing I'm not is disrespectful to men in the space for no fucking reason. But if you want some disrespect, man, let's get it disrespectful, man. Let's get it all the way funky, man. Fuck all the talking. But then the way they deflect off that is they'll call you a pookie then or some shit like that. What that means is you a scary ass nigga. Cause I'm a Pookie, so that means what, you a scary nigga, you don't want the animosity then? That's what it sounds like to me. Or then they'll call you emotional or some shit like that. Like they ain't in their emotions and shit. Like them niggas ain't got no feelings. I done heard niggas lose it, have conniptions. But then they'll tell you, you're emotional. Man, fuck all that, nigga. You're emotional. Okay, all right. I know what? I know how to treat you next time, partner. I done gave you the benefit. I gave you what God say I'm supposed to give you. Now it's on, fuck me once, shame on you. Fuck me twice, shame on me. Ain't that what they say? Ain't that what they tell you?
Amen.
So I don't want to make this shit about me, man. The only thing I want to make it about is the fact that you see MLK, the man who started the civil rights movement, say we need a new tactical program. We need a new paradigm. We need an entirely different means by which to perceive what has happened to us. And then you got niggas who ain't got a pot to piss in, a window to throw it out of. They got a little job, probably only got 2 or 3 months worth of anything that they can fucking depend on, if they got that, talking about niggas ain't virtuous enough. Nigga, if you lost your job tomorrow, you'd be on the street, nigga. If that contract don't come in, then you ain't got no motherfucking income to pay for your motherfucking business, nigga. Everything is subject to change. Everything is a matter of contingency. If you living from check to check. But not these dudes. They're virtuous. They got it all figured out. What's the gross national product of the fucking United States? These niggas act like they got a quarter of it.
Man.
I swear to God, they talk like they done found out the key to the riddle of the maze nowadays.
And don't want to share it.
End up investing in Bitcoin and going bankrupt.
Any Negro that tells you that they got the key to the game, when the Negroes in the country own less than 0.5% of the wealth, you know he's a fucking liar. You're a goddamn nigger liar. You a fucking lie. You want us to get there through, you ever see a motherfucking football game? The football game is how many fucking yards does it take to get to the end zone? How many? From fucking goal line to goal line. How many yards?
100.
100. It takes how many yards to get a first down?
10.
10 yards. Okay? You got how many downs? 4 downs. You got niggas moving at a snail's pace because you only got 60 fucking minutes to play the game, right? Unless it goes into overtime, right?
Right.
So you got niggas who are moving at a snail's pace, ain't even passing fucking 10 yards, telling you they making progress on the goddamn gridiron of the game.
Tell them, mama.
Glorifying in their own individual insignificant contribution to the gross domestic product in the United States, acting as if they got the fucking keys to the game. This is what pisses me off. Then they take the greatest thinkers and just say, well, fuck them. Fuck what they had to say. Shout out to Aaron Peters. I'm St. Louis all day. I'm Northside St. Louis too. Kasuth and Fur.
Aaron Peters, what's up?
If motherfuckers would have seen a cat up in a banger like that, even in New Orleans, you say the word gat in New Orleans, you shot. Nobody holding a gun, you gonna sit there with a gun and niggas just let you get that off? No, sir.
New Orleans born and raised. This is facts.
You say you New Orleans born and raised?
Born and raised, bro. Yep.
Look here, man. It don't matter what part of New Orleans you in either. It don't matter if you in the motherfucking lower 9 or on the east, or if you in fucking
Nord, Metairie.
It don't matter where you at.
Tulane, don't matter, bro.
You start talking that gunplay, niggas gonna shoot you up fast.
Yep.
Cause they know it's a threat.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent half of my life, man, in Chicago, St. Louis, and New Orleans. As a youth, growing up. Those are the cities that I live. They all fucked up cities for real in terms of how black men treat each other.
Yep.
Because when I was young, the Valley Boys was killing motherfuckers and shit. Niggas with polo shirts and Jabot jeans and Bally shoes and shit. Striped polo shirts and shit. That's what them niggas used to wear. And Jabot jeans.
Yeah, man.
I done seen niggas, all you had to do is put on Gregory D. Buck jump time, everybody start fighting and shit.
Man, I was a kid in the 90s, man. Man, look, I went to school, shotgun shells on the ground, crack needles all over the place, man. Come on.
My family, my family had a house on Orleans where the Zulu parade used to come down. And right down the street, like, I forget the corner of the street, but it's like Orleans and another street where the Zulu headquarters is, you know what I'm saying, where they got their little office and shit. Where they keep all their little shit at. But it used to be the Calios across from it, if my memory serves me correct, with the Calios on Orleans, right?
Yeah, the Calio, yeah.
But they took them motherfuckers, they don't exist no more.
Yep.
Know what I'm saying? They broke them bitches down. But that's where I grew every motherfucking, man, every parade, man, every February, man, Fat Tuesday and all that shit, bro. I'm in New Orleans, baby. We in that bitch chilling, eating king cake, looking for the little piece. You know what I'm saying?
For the baby, yeah.
Man, looking for the baby so we can get another, some good luck for the next year.
Real talk.
As a kid, eating hot ass food, like with the little old ladies cooking the shit. Jambalaya, crawfish bisque, you know what I'm saying? That sort of shit.
Yeah.
Crawfish etouffee, all that shit. Eating out straight home cooked.
I miss it, bro.
But it's just the culture. It's the culture, man. It's a beautiful culture, but it's fucked up for us. Because black men don't know how to navigate this culture for real, bro. We are the main targets. And now we've turned the antipathy that they have for us on each other. This is why I get pissed at other guys, man. Like, and then they start talking that tough shit. Stop talking tough shit, man. Stop being tough with each other, man. Because I'm going to tell you, man, niggas, bruh, even a skinny nigga tough with a gun in his hand, bruh. Right?
That's
a nigga
real.
got a shotgun, nigga, he tough as a motherfucker, ain't he? I don't care if you 300 pounds as Schwarzenegger. He ain't gonna run up against a motherfucking shotgun, is he?
Not if you got any sense.
Man, but anyway, man, look, all I got to say, I did the MLK video for one specific reason, to demonstrate that MLK did not think that we had reached the mountaintop, that we've actually achieved what it was that we came here to do with integration. In fact, he basically says this was the easy part. That was the easiest part of the struggle we were engaged in. And we didn't even reach our goal. The goal is full economic enfranchisement in the United States, man. That's the goal. And to change the value structure of the country in and of itself, and to turn the outward aggression into inward productivity. Stop being imperial, like trying to empire build. And worry about what's happening in your own borders. But nowadays, everything is just fucked up. You got Negroes saying that these people were failures, and they enjoy Everything these people sacrificed to get us to where we are, and then said, fuck it, I ain't fighting for nobody but my goddamn self. Fuck the rest of these niggas out here.
But Gigi, I want to clarify the statement I made earlier. I'm not saying that you are exactly like Yvette and Tone. I'm saying that your particular analysis in this particular context is exactly the same analysis that they had.
Because they're correct.
Exactly. And
They're
a lot
correct.
of niggas don't like that shit. A lot of people do not like the fact that they are correct in this particular context and correct in going towards, building towards a socio-economic political agenda for Adolf's folks, right? So in which case, a lot of niggas hate on that shit. I don't know why.
Why would you
I
be
don't know
black and
why.
hate on that shit?
I don't know why. I cannot
Marcus,
tell
tell
you
us
the
the answer,
answer.
because I don't understand these niggas, man. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
How can you be black, know the history of what happened to black people, and then say there needs to be no adjustment whatsoever, and any adjustment for Negroes is a backward move in relation to justice? It's not a movement towards justice, but a movement against justice to repair what was fucked up in relation to black folks. What black person can make the same can actually make that argument?
These black folks are nothing new. We've always had black
I
folks.
don't, look, I'm not saying that black people should not work individually in order to become the best version of themselves possible. Neither did MLK believe that. He didn't believe that black people should just, do nothing at all, don't even try to improve their lot or their quality of life, and not be ambitious or industrious. That's not what he's saying, and he says that clearly. All he's saying is, look, you gave all these white people all this shit. You gave them resource after resource after resource, and we worked in this bitch. Them motherfuckers just came to this hole over the water, and then they got shit. We've been laboring in this bitch under sweat, blood, and tears for centuries, and you still can't bring it to your motherfucking goddamn self to say, hey, man, let's set aside something for these people, man.
We go over there and get them now. They don't just come. We go get them.
Man, I'm mad, man. Let me stop talking, bro, because I'm mad right now.
You have every right to be, man.
I'm pissed off at niggas' duplicity. And, bruh, look, I understand conservatism. I get it perfectly well. I understand it, okay? I get conservatism. But, man, bro, as an idea and a principle, I understand it, okay? I've studied it. But don't get me to believe some shit that's not real, man, for the sake of you having some sort of solace in your political positioning with some sort of, Republican or conservative base, because you like to hear that shit. I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh too, nigga. I listened to it all day, every day, to laugh at the shit. When I was, I was younger, I would listen to it. I listened to Fox News too. I don't listen to it anymore. I used to listen to all the conservative talk show hosts. I've read all the conservative books. You think I ain't read Walter Williams and motherfucking Thomas Sowell and Shelby Steele? You think I ain't read it?
It's crazy.
Like, why would you think I haven't read this shit? Like, I don't see it. I don't understand any of it at all. I just don't buy it. I don't buy into abstract economic theory. I just don't, man. Because economics is not a science. It's a social science. And it has a certain set of assumptions about human nature that I think are fucking wrong. But, that's just my viewpoint. Now, I would not discount Tommy Shelby, not him, Shelby Steele or Thomas Sowell on the account that, okay, I just don't like them. I'm going to analyze the arguments. If the arguments are good, I'll go back and forward with these people. Some of the shit they say is true. Some of what they say is this absolute bullshit. I'm not a follower of Milton Friedman. Fuck Milton Friedman. Fuck the Chicago School of Economics. I just don't believe what the assumptions they make about human nature and modernity. I don't believe it. And I have reason to. But most of these guys don't even have a reason. They just believe the shit. They think that everything they get from modernity is absolutely true.
I mean, for the sounds of things, it sounds like you already know the answer, man. Honestly, I just think you're dealing with a lot of blackface white supremacists. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
That's how I
People,
perceive it.
yeah, that's what I think so
That's
too.
why. That's why I keep. I got this theme on speed dial.
Yep.
I got that on speed dial for a reason. It's what I self-aggrandizing, self-hating, self-loathing Negroes.
Yeah, man. With friends like these, who need enemies, right?
But look, I don't have a problem with guys, man, saying what they gotta say. Just don't fucking be disrespectful if you disagree. You can disagree without being fucking disrespectful. But then after you start being fucking just overtly disrespectful, now you want niggas to pull back and treat you like a fucking human being and be respectable they goddamn self. Niggas want to up the banger on you and you to be like, sorry, sir. Niggas want to be aggressive to you and then for you to stand down.
Right. You ain't supposed to fight back.
Bro, I'm not built like that, bro. I'm not built like that.
No,
so
sir.
if you want to start some, I will give a nigga a grace period though. But after I give you the grace period, it's over. I done gave you as much grace as I'm gonna show you. I tried to get along with you motherfuckers. I tried to reason. There is no more reason anymore. If you want war, nigga, let's go. But don't internet war with me, man. Fuck all that. I'm not about to do it.
Crazy.
And so I sincerely mean this. I don't want no beef with nobody, but if you want it, nigga, bring the shit. Fuck all this talking. You done had niggas threaten each other in this space, man, with bodily harm over some bullshit. Now come to me with that bullshit. But say it to my face. Fuck the internet shit. Come holler at me about the shit. No, ain't nobody came. Motherfuckers talking shit is what they been doing. But ain't nobody lately said nothing about Gigi specifically. It's only one motherfucker. I ain't not gonna even bless saying this nigga's name. But he got a lot to say about everybody. Don't say my fucking name no more, nigga. Or I'm gonna come find your bitch ass. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna end up stealthily looking for your ass. Now go tell the feds that, you fuck nigga. Scary ass nigga. Shit, let me stop. I said let me stop talking, bro. I don't like tough niggas.
Got them at all levels, too.
Bro, I don't like tough motherfuckers, man. And I don't come off tough to nobody. I'm cordial and polite to everybody. I talk shit, but when I meet people, I'm cool with them. Unless I feel like they're being sarcastic. I'm willing to meet anybody. I will apologize to a man if I wronged him.
That's right. That's right.
Because I know humility. Some of these niggas have no concept of humility. And therefore, if you don't know humility, you definitely don't know what brotherhood is. If you can't demonstrate or exemplify humility.
They think it's a weakness.
Because then you don't know friendship. How can you be a friend if you ain't humble to a motherfucker, ever?
Right.
And what many of these niggas ain't got no women. Never had one. Because you think you know every goddamn thing. So let me stop talking, man. Look, any of y'all got some last word to say? Because I done been talking for 2 hours. I done talked for six hours today. And it ain't even been inside a classroom.
What I'm going to say is this. It wouldn't make logical sense for this government, white people, whatever, to give us shit because, and when I say logical, I mean in terms of what they want to see happen, right? Their objective. We're the last group of people that they want to give shit to because they're worried about revenge. That's number one. As far as him saying what he's saying, I think that a good amount of, I guess, people from our generation are aware of this, part of his message. It's not something that the generation after us knows much about because, like you said, all they know is the MLK, the commercial MLK. There's a pop culture image of MLK. And it ain't this. It's what you mentioned earlier, right?
Right.
As far as conservatism, huh?
They need to stop that shit. Learn.
Right. As far as conservatism, and I've spoken on conservatism a lot on my community tab and some in my videos, and I've debated conservatives on other channels. This is what I'm saying, because black conservatives would have to have you believe that racism doesn't exist to adopt their ideology. And it's not that conservative politics or components of conservative politics doesn't make sense, or that they sometimes don't have, good candidates. The problem that I have with conservative politics or conservative ideology in America is that even if you agree with what some of the shit they're saying, even if some of the stuff aligns with you, it ain't for you. And I keep trying to express this to these niggas. For example, the Second Amendment ain't for you, niggas. That's some shit they preach, but it ain't for you. You understand what I'm saying? They have values that you might share with them, but they're not going to practice it for your benefit. And that's what I'm trying to explain to these dudes. They go at me, whether it be on my community tab or sometimes on my videos and stuff like that. And it's like you said, these dudes are trying to resemble the closest, perception of assimilation of whiteness that they possibly can, right? To either appear non-threatening or not be one of those niggas over there or whatever. You know what I mean? And you saying why you hate it. I know why I'm hated, because I don't give anybody a pass.
And
right?
We need motherfuckers that don't give liberals or conservatives a pass.
Right.
Like you don't have to. My whole viewpoint on all of this is, what do we think devoid of what they think? What is our politics beyond their politics? What is special? Yeah. That's why earlier I mentioned, I said we don't have think tanks. Everything niggas do is reactive. Everything is reactive or reactionary to what they do. Everything is built upon what they're doing and how they perceive things. What about how we perceive things? How about developing our own way of approaching various problems in economics, whatever, education, whatever the case may be? But we don't have any solutions because we don't use collective consciousness to tackle any problem. Everybody's a fucking genius and knows what to do exactly. But white people don't even think like that. They don't try to fucking figure it out one guy at a time. They create a bureaucracy or an institution, whether it's political, educational, whether it's administrative, economic. They don't work in isolation from each other. They move as a swarm. Now you want to move with them. Them niggas ain't letting you move with them, dog. You ain't on their squad, nigga. Realize it. Shit.
They'll let you fight in a war. They'll let you fight in a war. But what niggas got to understand is they'll let you vote for them. They'll let you fight their war. They'll let you fight their battles. But when it come time to, get the spoils of the war, they're not sharing with you, niggas. They're not doing it. Not equally. 1 for you, 2 for me. 2 for you, 1, 2, 3 for me, nigga. And that's what I gotta explain to right-wing guys. And even when you talk about the politics of it, and they tell you everything that the Democrats have done, the Democrats have done to damage, the black community. Tell me what the Republicans have done to reverse it. And then you get
they can't give you an answer for that.
You get fucking silence. You get fucking silence.
They can't give you They can't give an answer to that, Marcus, because
absolutely
honestly, because they don't give them or give niggas nothing. That's just the answer. They expect that you must go for your bootstrap and alpha your way, have your business, create your business, and that's it. Everything's going fine. And honestly, you don't own not even 0.5% of the wealth of this country. And if you go in that route, you're going to be struggling. What? You said something?
I just want to touch on some of the points that a lot of conservatives make. Conservatives seem to think that the only issue that black men have in this country is taxes. The first thing they tell you is, well, you get to take more of your money home. Well, that's great. if that was the end of my issue, I'm with you. Oh, I get to take more of my money home, but check this out. How about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I live in Nevada, which some would consider a red state, but it ain't that red because a lot of Cali motherfuckers moved here, so it's a little purple now. It's been a little purple for a long time. That's why motherfuckers is selling a lot of purple out here. This is a weed legal state. Understand this, though. I'm good with the take more of my taxes home shit, but if it stopped there for black men, if black men's issues stop there, then I'd be with you, conservatives. Mm-hmm. People who fuck with me, they know I do not give the Democrats no quarter. But the first thing people, you get to take more of your money home. Shout out, and there's the conservatives that fuck with me. Shout out to them. I ain't gonna say their names here, but they know who they are. But they can't. This is the thing, Chaos. Mm-hmm. What you got to do when you're debating conservatives, don't say give me, because then that's the first thing they go. You want something? Or you want something for free? You want a handout? Mm-hmm. You know what I tell them? No, don't give me shit. Get the fuck out my way, though.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out my way. Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way, yo. Get the fuck up out my way, yo. How about that? How about when I stand my ground, it's not more likely that I'm going to go to jail than that farmer, because that's my new word on this motherfucker. Farmer. The farmer, when the farmer stands his ground, he's good.
Good.
When I stand my ground, I got to worry about a murder charge.
Facts.
So how about equal protection under the same law that they're going to propose? When the right-wing conservatives propose laws, I want the equal protection under those laws. That's what I'm asking for my vote, and that's reasonable. That ain't a handout. That ain't me begging. That ain't a hug. Ain't none of that shit. I don't need the motherfuckers to do none of that shit for me. Just protect me under the law, like you want them. Like, oh, you want them to protect you?
Being nice
to
these
nigga.
Look,
you mean
you being to me? You being nice to them? To me,
See, this is the thing.
Wait a minute, hold on. I'll let you speak. Let me speak. I get what you're saying, but I get what you're saying. But here's my problem with that. First of all, if you're an American citizen, man, and you buy a fucking soda, nigga, you done paid some goddamn taxes. Okay?
Understood.
If you got a job or ever held a job, collectively, saying like over time and space in this country, you paid into income tax and shit like that. So you done paid part of your taxes. If you got a house or if you got a car, You done spent money on taxes, so it ain't that you really actually want something for nothing. You done paid into the social venture called America.
There you go.
I get it.
But okay, and look, let me just say this though. Look, these niggas act like somebody's gonna be taking something out of their pockets. They don't even have no money. Nigga, you ain't got no money.
Got no money.
Well,
you ain't got no bread, nigga. You broke, nigga.
Check this out, G. How about this? If anybody should be on it like that, I should be one of them niggas. The first thing they talk about is, well, you know, for niggas that's businessmen, yada, yada, yada. See, niggas vote aspirationally, right? They vote, you know how they do. It's just like how all the rest of the Republicans do. Them niggas is fucked up, but they vote in a way that, you know what, if I'm ever rich, then this should have benefit me. Right? If for black men who are businessmen or planners, none of y'all, most of these niggas ain't got no fucking businesses. If anything, I should be the nigga.
Yeah.
And niggas know it. Hold on. Niggas know what the fuck I do. At the end of the day, I should be the nigga that's like, you know what? Fuck y'all niggas. I'm on my business shit. I'm gonna vote for these niggas because this and that gonna benefit me. But understand, the shit that it comes with is a problem. I could move to a state and pay less taxes. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I could move to a state if I want to affect income tax, property tax, and shit like that. But at the end of the day, yo, is my rights, and understand, G. I understand what you're saying. What you're saying is correct, but I don't want to give these niggas the room or the space to make that bullshit argument that they usually make with other motherfuckers. You're right. Don't get it twisted. But then, no, nigga. I'm not gonna argue with you like them niggas over there. I'm gonna say
on my squad. I got conservative niggas that I fuck with.
Right.
Okay. But the one thing I don't like is a motherfucker trying to bully me and to try to morally browbeat me and to try to, relegate me to I'm a cheap nigga status. Like you're a worthless nigger while I'm some elevated nigger. You ever seen the movie A Soldier Story, man?
No,
absolutely.
Where you got the sergeant and shit, and then he hating on the nigga playing the blues. You know what I'm saying? But the nigga really hate himself. The nigga got a complex. Stop being mad about why niggas ain't where they at, and then say that if they just adopted your attitude in life, everything will be well with the world. It's false. And you're using yourself as a messianic figure of what's morally appropriate when everybody might not even be able to do what you're doing. Ain't enough slots to be able to do exactly what you're doing. So anyway, man, look. I'm tired though, dog. I'm gonna start losing my voice. It's been a great privilege to have this conversation, and to talk with you guys. Hopefully, tomorrow, I can have a similar kind of conversation. I think, no, not tomorrow. I'm not gonna be with Sandog and Nameless, but on Wednesday I will be. So, Wednesday we're gonna have a conversation. Tomorrow, what I'm going to do is, and I've delayed it for too long. Too long I've delayed this shit. But I think, me talking about this today was kind of necessary for me to even get to what I want to talk about tomorrow. But so it's an article that basically, let me see if I can find this motherfucker, Alicina. Yes, here it is right here. Hold on.
Quick sample, if you could show it.
I'm about to show you the bitch right now. Hold on. Share screen. Window. Harvard Institute of Economic Research, since you niggas want to talk about economics and shit. Harvard Institute of Economic Research, discussion paper number 1933. Why doesn't the U.S. have a European-style welfare state?
Oh, shit.
By Alberto Alicina, Edward Glaser, and Bruce Sacerdote.
21 years ago, that paper was put out. Damn.
The paper was presented at the Brookings Panel on Economic Activity, September 7, 2001. Anyway, European countries are much more generous to the poor relative to the U.S. level of generosity. Economic models suggest that redistribution is a function of variance and skewness of pre-tax income distribution. That's economic language and jargon, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Go look up what variance and skewness is related to pre-tax income distribution is, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Variance is squared, I think, and skewness is cubed. But don't quote me on it. The volatility of income, perhaps because of trade shocks, okay? The social cost of taxation and the expected income mobility of the median voter, which is the aspirationalism, okay? Mm-hmm. So that's what redistribution is a function of, okay? None of these factors appear to explain the differences between the U.S. and Europe. Instead, the differences appear to be the result of racial heterogeneity in the U.S. and American political institutions.
So
racial animosity in the U.S. makes redistribution to the poor, who are disproportionately black, unappealing. American political institutions limited the growth of a socialist party and more generally limited the political power of the poor. Why? Well, because the poor are predominantly niggas.
Because niggas. Mm-hmm.
But I want to go through the arguments. I do believe he's accurate. And the other, the authors of the text, I believe that they're accurate.
Man.
So there's a whole bunch of reasons why the U.S. is it's sufficient. Oh, we got to look at the variance and the skewness. Oh, we got to look at what could, be aspirational in relation to, what could be in the future in terms of my own earnings and shit like that. But at the end of the day, man, what's the reality of the situation, bro?
Man, they do everything they can to scoot around the issue instead of saying it exactly, plainly what it is, man.
The reality is they don't want, like Nas said in If I Ruled the World, because you can be poor, rich, have all the chips, don't nobody want a nigga having shit.
Mm-hmm.
If I ruled the world and everything in it, sky's the limit. I push a Q45 infinite. But the reality is these people don't want to see you having shit. They're niggardly.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. These people are niggardly.
Oh my God.
Am I lying?
You ain't lying, bro.
Right.
Oh, shit.
It ain't trade shocks and the volatility of the market or income. It ain't about the variance and the skewness of pre-tax income distribution. It's not about the social cost of taxation. It's not about the expected income mobility of the average voter. It's actually about race and animosity related to race.
Remember
that's
when y'all
the reason
said
why the motherfucking America, and you look at America and everywhere in the Western world, the system is different everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It should give you an indication on why. First of all, most of these other Western countries are more heterogeneous. I mean, excuse me, more homogeneous.
Homogeneous, yeah.
Less heterogeneous.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't like they niggas in the U.S., boy. They really don't.
No.
They really do not. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna cover tomorrow, man. You can
name me Wednesday.
No, tomorrow. Wednesday, I'm doing me and Sandog. We gonna and Nameless. We gonna have a conversation. Let me see exactly what this shit is about because I gotta write some of these things down. I can't remember everything.
Isn't this gonna be the last one? With you and Nameless?
No, we gonna keep doing shit. We gonna discuss justice and morality.
Okay.
But see, to me, I think justice and morality are different. Morality has a different set of parameters. See, something can be moral, but it doesn't actually pertain to what justice requires. Or something can have a justice component devoid of a, like intense moral component. But what I mean by this is something can be legal, and be a matter of justice, but it still could be immoral.
Indeed. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the shit is perfectly legal. Like, okay, say for example, I don't have to give a bum shit that's begging for some money or panhandling under a bridge. But I mean, just continuously neglecting to observe the humanity of people who are less fortunate than yourself, that's morally problematic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, nobody can enforce morality, but you can enforce justice. But we're gonna get into that shit tomorrow, man. We'll talk about that tomorrow, man. You know what I'm saying? But peace and love to all y'all, man. Damn, man, I'm losing my voice, man. Y'all feel like I'm rapping again and shit.
Hey, man, before I go, I just want to say thank you for everything, man. Philosophy 101 was my first class in goddamn community college, and man, it's a breath of fresh air hearing you going hard, man. So,
Hey, man,
thank
did you enjoy it at all?
I got an A+ in that, man. That
Oh,
was
yeah, for
that
sure,
was
for sure.
awesome, bro. Awesome. But hey,
Which
I'm gonna
college
catch
you
you
went
later,
to,
bro.
Delgado?
Oh, nah. By the time I got in community college, I was in Seattle already. So I went
Okay,
to
cool.
yeah. But it's all good though. Hey, I'm gonna see you on Apex, dog.
Oh, for sure, man. Look, we gonna play one day, bro.
Hell yeah.
I'm Infinite 8. Just hit me on the community tab or something like that, or hit me in the email, because my email, you got access to it. I'm gonna start playing games with guys in the space if they want to play. I'm not all that good at the game. I just like to play it.
Same.
Every now and then I
a lot.
win one, you know what I'm saying? But that game is difficult as shit, dog.
Yeah, man.
The time to kill is long, but if people are posseed and teamed up, and they 3-stacking you, you're gonna get killed, bro. And people who play Apex Legends, bro, let me just say this shit. Oh my God, man, they do the dumbest, irrational shit I've ever seen people do, man.
Hey, me and my boy Bank Sounds, bro. We had a streaming Apex like for a month, for a few, like half a year straight, dog. Bruh, you ain't lying when you say a lot of people do some crazy shit in that game, dog. You ain't lying.
Bruh.
But at any rate, that's all I wanted to say, man. I'm about to be out, bro.
All right, man. Take care, bro. Peace out.
All right, y'all be cool, man.
All right. Well, anyway, man, I'm sorry, man, I got riled up. I really want peace amongst people. And I don't mind people disagreeing with what I have to say or, like having a variance of opinion. But, man, don't come to me and try to be disrespectful and shit. Because I'm going to end up smacking the fuck out of one of you niggas someday. All I say is like, me and Marcus had a disagreement initially, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
True indeed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we never agreed on everything 100%. We got like a difference of opinion on various things, right? But you know what I did to you? What did I do? I reached out to you, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you hit me.
I hit you up on Facebook. I said, hey, bro.
Yeah, this is before the YouTube.
Exactly. I say, let's conversate. Let's talk as men so we can get a clarification on where we stand. It wasn't no fan shit. It wasn't no nothing, none of this. It's just two men. I wasn't even on YouTube yet.
But yeah, but we ain't even say nothing crazy to each other the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then we started philosophizing.
Oh, here we go, man. But I mean, the whole point is we had a disagreement.
Right.
We talked to each other, and then we noticed that we had more in common than we did in disagreement. And then we decided, okay, even if we disagree about some things, let's chop and build. Because I think that, I really appreciate your intelligence and your ability to articulate your ideas on any score anyway. And iron sharpens iron, so let's continue to be in correspondence.
I would call it a difference of opinion or a difference of point of view more so than a disagreement. A disagreement sounds like something else. You know what I'm saying?
Like a fight or some shit.
Right.
But
So yeah.
It wasn't a fight. It was just like you said. He had a point he wanted to make. I had a point I wanted to make, and neither one of us were budging. But this nigga don't budge, and I don't budge either. I continued to push my point. He continued to push his. But then we got to a certain point where it's like, look, bro, I get what you're saying. Let's agree to disagree. But let's also agree that, you know, the conversation was fun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't something that needed to lead or devolve down to a path to where it led to resentment.
I think you brought another one of your guys. Like, it was another one of your guys. I wonder what happened here, because it was another guy you had, and I think he had a degree also. This is so long ago though now, man. And I think he might have joined the discussion. A few discussions, man. And this is when I was on my 30-day ban Facebook shit. So
Man,
I was on the other profile. Yeah, I'm always banned.
But okay, so I think what happened was I had one of my African homies, a colleague, you know, who we basically wrote a paper together and you know, attended several conferences together. And so we was talking about Pan-Africanism.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I was just wanting to so I am still a Pan-Africanist to some degree. Okay? I don't think that factually these people here are going to, you know, actually ever give us a fair shake and include us into their social body. I just don't think they will. Should they do so normatively as a matter of justice and morality? Should they, you know, be on the hook? I think so. But do I think they will? I just don't think they have the heart. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we'll never have the numbers in the U.S. We'll never have it. And right now, we don't even want to fucking reproduce. And if we do reproduce, it's in the context of fucking like all kinds of pathology. And fucking who gonna run the shit politics. So you got women being boss bitches and you got men being conscious and all kind of other shit in between. It's all jacked up, man. Like you can't even reproduce and build a legacy in this motherfucker.
Yeah. Now let's say go pay that child support, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Be around in there also.
Bro, when I realized what the game was, man, my first baby mama, her mother called me and asked me if she could fucking claim taxes on my fucking kid, nigga. I said, this self
God damn, nigga. Claim taxes?
I said, what the fuck? That's all you bitches think the kids are is a fucking tax credit? Man.
I mean, that shouldn't be surprising, you know.
Man, but it pissed me off though, because first and foremost, I'm the primary. Man, look, I don't even want to get into all the particulars of this shit because, you know, to me, it's so ridiculous the shit that men get subjected to in order for women to act like they fucking have some semblance of control. They don't even give a fuck about these kids for real. They just using the kids to do what the fuck they might love the kids, but they really ain't looking out for the best interest of these goddamn kids out here, bro.
That means they don't love them, bro. Understand? This is I'm gonna give you something, man, before we get up out of here. It's my theory that women, especially black women, tax everybody. Think about this, man. They get money from the government for the kid. They try to get money from the dad for the kid. When that don't work, the kid get older, they start taxing that motherfucker. Think about it. Everybody, they tax
nigga.
Yeah, I brought you here. You owe me. They want to be compensated for being wives. They want to be compensated for being mothers. They want to be compensated, period. They want to be compensated for their presence, for their mere presence.
They want service, but they don't want to serve. Service is their love language, but they can't even imagine themselves exhibiting love through service. That's the fucked up part of the game.
Like you said.
And I said it first. I had a bitch tell me service was the bitch's love language. This bitch told me this. So in other words, this bitch wanted me to serve her. I said, okay, I get it. So I just tested and shit. I provided some service to see if the bitch would do some of her own. You know what? This bitch couldn't bring herself to fucking serve anybody. She couldn't provide the service because it was beneath her.
I literally just had
Or if they do it like the shit I do, I'd put care into. Because that's the thing that separates human beings from animals is the care component. And it's the thing which enables somebody to be able to do something with virtuosity. Like if you're just going through the motions of doing some shit, then it becomes habitual and brainless. And it's one thing if you're an expert and you practice and your habits in and of themselves exemplify virtue. And it's another thing to slap some shit together. We call it nigger rigging. Okay? Women that cook like that, like they just slapping some shit together, they don't even give a fuck what it tastes like. Or giving you a blowjob with no love or something like that, like you didn't really give a fuck about it. Or laying on your back, just, not fucking like with any intensity. Selfish just bullshit. Service, serve me, serve me, serve me. But the bitch has no concept of serving anyone. I just, look, personally, I think that love in and of itself, man, is an exchange. It's something that has to be reciprocal. And if it ain't reciprocal, fuck it. I'll holler at you.
Then it's not love.
No, it's not. But
they're transactional.
Man, fuck a transaction.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Fuck a transaction.
That's what they're doing. It's transact, but it's one-way transaction. Like I would respect a transaction if you got your piece of the transaction. Yeah, give me that and I'll give you this. Okay. But
they
that's
think
not
the pussy is the transaction, dog. They think pussy is the transaction.
Sometimes you don't get that.
No, dog. If you ain't fucking, I'm out. I can't. There's no way. There is no reason. I would never be in a sexless marriage.
Facts.
Or if I was in a sexless marriage, I have 2 or 3 side bitches.
Mm-hmm.
And she would know about it. And I tell her, where you going? Where you going? I'm going to holler at my side bitch. What's cracking?
Yeah, I've been saying that.
You want something? When I come back from knocking her back out, you want some? I'm about to get some chicken when I come home.
Hey, G, remember that shit you said? You said some shit earlier. You said some shit earlier on the stream earlier, right? And it made me laugh because it made me think of a situation I was in where you was like, you be at the club, you ask one chick to dance, and she be like, nah. So you go right next to her friend and say, do you want to dance? And they be like, no. And then you go to the next one and be like, do you want to dance? Now you said, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm asking all y'all. Mm-hmm. I got a worse story than that. Let's just say a chick turned down a smash and she watched a smash. Okay?
Right.
This is real shit, bro. Oh, you ain't trying. Oh, you don't want to let me? Okay. Hey, what up, shorty? Okay. And I'm looking at the other chick while smashing her friend.
But like I don't get mad if a bitch don't choose me because
this could be you.
But every woman has an option not to fuck with you, and you can't be so fucking hedonistic. Well, not even hedonistic. So arrogant to think that it's just something personal about you and get all fixated and caught up into your own ego. Like every bitch ain't your cup of tea, so you can't be every bitch's cup of tea.
Right.
It just stands to reason. Okay. Some bitches gonna like you, some or not. But I'll be goddamn if my world, my night is gonna come to a halt because one bitch told me no, she ain't gonna get down. I'll be damned. And then I'm gonna be like, my fun is not going to end with one no. Not me. Now, maybe if it was 20 no's, I'd be thinking like, damn, don't none of these hoes like me. But I mean, come on, that's never happened, dog. Never in my life. I can't get out of 20 bitches. I can't get one of them. No, sir, bro. I'm just, it's never happened to me. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I'm just saying, come on, bro. It ain't that damn difficult, bro. And if a bitch turn you down, fuck her. If my girl starts acting up, then I'll ask her friend.
Really is, then I'll fuck her friend.
I know, but I'm just saying,
No, I'm just saying, and I only saying that.
But you get what I'm saying.
As in the story I told.
The only point I tried to make was another bitch's trash is another bitch's trash. She might not like you, but she might want to be on to your homie or something. Like, look, okay, you ain't fuck. I done had chicks turn me down, and then 2 months later, they all up in my face like, hey.
That right.
Like, huh? I tried to get at you a couple months ago.
That right.
Now, I guess you saw me with about 2 or 3 other bitches, and now you think I'm that guy now, huh?
Oh,
Huh?
You are that dick now.
I mean, your girl basically was like, oh my God. Because my hands was ashy one day. I was on some nigga shit. I'm going to not at the club trying to look good, but at the club trying to unwind. I'm trying to have me some drinks and eat some wings and shit. This bitch, I'm talking to her. She like, oh, you need some lotion on your hands? I'm like, nah, bitch, I'm eating some wings. I don't need your lotion, motherfucker.
You dirty bitch.
Then, they was acting all persnickety and shit. Then they seen me out with a bunch of bitches one day. I was with a crowd of hoes. Not everybody in the motherfucking spot want to holler at me. I'm like, damn, hold on, wait a minute. You see me here with all these bitches. One of these bitches is my bitch. You understand what I'm saying? You'd automatically know this. Oh, some girl say she want to meet you over here. Man, fuck you. Yeah. Come on, you see me with all these bitches over here. I can't fuck with... Come on, bruh. But anyway, the whole point of the story is it's the numbers game with women, man. But even if you meet them and you like them and you fuck them, it's problems after that. The problems come at all stages of the pussy, man.
Listen, man. Women, if women bought stock, they would buy high and sell low.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? Understand this, right? They buy the stock when it's high. They don't buy it low, sell high. They buy high and they sell low. Walk with that one.
These women will cut their nose off to spite their face to show you they the boss. So I'll leave on that. We almost 3 hours into it, baby.
All right.
Anyway, man, I fuck with y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Holler at me on the next one, man. I'll be here tomorrow, man, and it'll probably be a little bit more cerebral. But thank you for all the people who come and visited, man, and showed some support. I know I'm a little ostentatious, man. Every now and then I get real ignorant or whatever the case may be and pookie-ish. But I'm your resident pookie, motherfucker, if you don't like it. Holler at me. I'll holler at y'all on the next one. Peace.
Peace. Peace.